The Millionaire mind says it seems a lot more sensible to purchase an expensive new car out of gains made from wise investments than from earned income. What does that mean?
Everybody eats. Everybody eats.
I ain't eating. You ain't eating? What you mean you ain't eating? You ain't making this paper, man? Everybody eating. I gotta eat, man.
You are listening to the Everybody Eats podcast. Now for your host, Mr. AJ Simmons.
Alright, so let's talk about it, y'all. So, one of my subscribers, Mr. AJ's, he actually sent me that passage from the book, The Millionaire Mind. And we want to discuss exactly what that passage means and how you can apply that even if you don't have a 9-to-5 job, all right? Now, first of all, I want to thank you for waking up with me this morning. I am AJ Simmons, and this is the Everybody Eats podcast. Let's discuss this for a minute. I want to break it down. All right, so again, the passage reads, it seems a lot more sensible to purchase an expensive new car out of gains made from wise investments than from earned income. Now, obviously what that passage means is if you have a day job and you receive earned income from that day job, then obviously that's earned income. And they're saying that if you have investment income, maybe you have a stock portfolio that pays you dividends every quarter or every month or however often, and you use those dividends to pay for the car, then to use the income from your job, it's smarter to use the dividends than actually using the money, the earned income from your job. All right, that's what they're saying. I can't say I disagree with that, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, and I'm gonna get to AJ's point in a minute. First of all, I can't disagree with that because what they're saying is basically, if you have to spend your time, which is the real money, and we discussed that before, if you have to spend your time getting earned income and you're going to purchase an expensive car, which loses value immediately, unless it's a Bugatti, all the other cars lose value, then why would you just splurge on that car when it's going to lose value immediately? Instead, maybe you should use the cash from investment gains that way, because you didn't have to work for that. You didn't spend any time of your precious time on that income. Okay, so maybe you should use the gains made from an investment. All right, now what AJ's is saying, all right, well, that's cool, that makes sense, but what if I don't have a job? So then how does that make sense? Because all of my money comes from gains. All right, investment money. All right, so here's what I think on it. One thing I want y'all to remember is when you read a lot of these books, a lot of times the people who wrote these books either aren't millionaires yet, or they became millionaires in a different fashion than you might become one. Okay, because a lot of these books, like this one in particular probably, and also The Automatic Millionaire, and several others, they're written with the mindset that you're going to have a day job and you're going to do, maybe you're going to invest for the long term, and maybe you won't become a millionaire or until you retire. Okay, so it's written for the Dave Ramsey type minded type people, all right, where they're looking to retire at some point, and they're not really for entrepreneur minded people. All right, so that's the first thing I want to point out. So this book is kind of assuming that you do keep your day job, but if you don't keep your day job, then really there's really no real smart way to purchase a car, simply because all cars lose value for the most part. So it's like, well, how do you, what is the smartest way to do it? I don't know. Jay Morrison says the smartest thing to do is to lease a car. Just lease the newest model. If you're into brand new cars, just lease them, and then that way you can only have them for 2 years, and then you give it back and upgrade, because the car's gonna lose value anyway, so why would you purchase it at all? Then Dave Ramsey says, well, purchase the car in cash. Okay, purchase it in cash, because why would you finance the car when, again, it's gonna lose value And if you purchase it with a loan, a car loan, let's say a car loan for over 6 years, then by the time that you get ready to go to sell that car, or let's just say you want to sell it in 2 years because you realize that the payments were too high. Well, you're going to be upside down in that car because you're going to owe way more than what the car's actually worth. Okay, so how you going to get out of it? You can't. All right, so that's why he says buy cash. So that way, even if you have cash, even if you need to get rid of the car for whatever reason, at least you can sell it and get some of your money back. You won't get all of your money back, but at least you'll get half of it. And also, he says sell it because you won't be stuck with those monthly payments. All right. So here's my thing. I say that there's no real smart way to buy a car, and I'm kind of with Jay Morrison on just leasing the car. Right? I say lease it, or I say buy it in cash. But what you don't want to do is get a car loan. All right. Now, if you have to use a loan to get a car, then here's what I recommend that you do. I recommend that you get a personal loan. If you have to use a loan, get a personal loan. That way you can still have the title to the car. And then if for whatever reason there's an emergency and you have to default on the loan, at least they're not coming to repo your car. All right. Now, as far as if you should use how you should purchase the car, if you have investment income only or business income, then it really doesn't make a difference because there's no other income that you have anyway. You know what I mean? You don't have any other income to compare to. So whether you use so it's like all of your income, investment income. So it's like either way, you're going to have to use that income because you don't have any other income. You don't have a job. So therefore, it really doesn't make a difference how you do it. I think that whether the type of income really doesn't make a difference. It's more about the way that you purchase the car, whether you want to do an auto loan, a personal loan, straight cash, or leasing, and that'll be a decision up to you. So if you know that you're a person that you're always into new things, like for example, if you had a dream car in high school and now you're in your late 20s and your dream car changed, or maybe your dream car changed every 3 years for the past 13 years, you know what I mean, or whatever, then you know that you're a person that likes to be in the newest thing. So why don't you just lease? Now, if you're the type of person that says, you know what, I just like the 88 Cutlass, you know what I mean, or I just like the 06 Cadillac like I do, you know what I mean, or whatever it is, then maybe that would be a smart time to buy in cash, because you know that your preference for your favorite car isn't going to change anytime soon. Then I would buy cash on that, especially if the car is a few years old anyway. But if it's a brand new model car the same year, then no, I would just lease it. All right. So that's my thought. And then also I want to point out the fact that, again, you have to be careful with the books that you read as well as the people that you listen to, whether it be on podcasts or YouTube or whatever, and make sure that their beliefs align with yours. I'll tell you one thing. I used to wake up listening to Evan Carmichael's channel on YouTube, because he would have these little clip meshes of different celebrities, entrepreneurs, and just a combination of successful people, and listen and put their advice together, make it into one long video. But I stopped listening to all of them just because what I started realizing was a lot of these things were contradicting each other. You know what I mean? Because everybody has a different path. And so what you have to do is decide which path is right for you and only take the advice that aligns with that advice. All right. So, like, for example, I had to cut back on Robert Kiyosaki. I appreciate Robert Kiyosaki so much. He taught me a lot. He taught me how money really works. He taught me that cash was just currency. All of that. But at the end of the day, a lot of things that he was saying, my brain couldn't process it right, and therefore I had to cut him off. Like when he was teaching me about the saving is for losers. But what he forgot to tell me was, well, you still have to save in the beginning in order to be able to invest. So it's like, yes, saving is for losers, for people who think they're just going to save their way to being rich. Yes. But for people who know that you have to save in order to invest, that's smart. And I didn't know that. I automatically thought that you just should never save. You know what I mean? And how I came up with that, I don't know. You got to remember, I come from nothing. So I took everything the guy said as literal. All right. And then I started to learn, you know what? All right, I got to have some type of money in order to invest. All right, so that's just something to point out. And also another thing I decided to do was I'm only going to listen to billionaires only, because most is less billionaires than there are millionaires. And what I've started to notice is most billionaires have the same advice versus all of the millionaires. They all got it in different ways, and so they all a lot of them seem to contradict each other. So what I recommend that you guys do is pick about 5 people, just 5 real good mentors that you can listen to on a podcast or YouTube or whatever, and stick with them. 5 people that really seem to be on the same page, that you can resonate with their message and their path, and just follow those people, okay? Because if you listen to too many different things, they could set you back, all right? And the same thing goes with books. A lot of people always say that they want to read so many books a year and all of that. Honestly, I think if you just stick with maybe 1 to 3 books per year, that'll be fine, because you don't need too many different ideas conflicting. And also it's so much information that goes inside of a book that really you probably need all year or maybe 6 months just to digest everything, because you don't want to just be skimming through a book just to be skimming through it. You might need to go back and reread a chapter, or maybe you need to reread a couple sentences 5 times, and just so it can digest. You know what I mean? So I don't really recommend reading a bunch of different books as well as listening to a bunch of different people. All right, so that's my thoughts on that. Hopefully that was able to help, and I thank y'all for waking up with me this morning. I am AJ Simmons on the Everybody Eats podcast, and have a great day.